Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Val's Values, and I just hope that everyone's doing well, and I want to thank you for coming back to visit with me on my videos. Before we get started on what today's topic will be about, I wanted to bring your attention to my first video, which I linked down below, so you can go check it out, and that way you can find out more about what my channel is going to be about, and basically more about me. So for that video, I was able to get some friends from around the world to ask me a few questions that you can get to kind of know more about me from. Today, we're going to be focused on travel tips, which was something that I was finding that a lot of people had questions about. So I figured I would give to you the 5 best tips you can use so you can travel and travel for cheap. So please stay tuned. If you like this video, go ahead and press that thumbs up. You'll definitely want to subscribe, and then also press that bell for notifications for once I upload the videos. Come on, let's check out what's today's topic. Let's start with tip number 5. We're going to do a countdown, so you would want to stay tuned to the very end of the video so you can get the number 1 tip that I have for you. So the first tip is going to be planning ahead. As basic as it seems, it's so essential for you to have your plans months in advance, even if possible, because that way it allows you to find better deals instead of waiting last minute when everything goes up. And you want to go into details into like the types of activities you want to do when you get to that country. Look at different airlines. Think about where you're going to be staying. You're going to do like Airbnb. If you have some friends, then you're lucky because you don't even have to worry about accommodation. But if not, you know, you can look at couch surfing. I mean, there's so many different random options as well as, you know, your basic hotel. And so in the future, I'm definitely going to get into some good sites you want to look at for travel accommodation, as well as getting really good tickets. So that's going to be for another time. All right, so that was tip number 5, and we're going to get into tip number 4. So the 4th tip would be for you to book your tickets in advance. So that's so essential because of the simple fact that if you book it ahead of time, at least 1 month out from the time you're trying to travel, you usually find savings as opposed to if you're just gonna wait for the time that your travel's coming up and now everybody's trying to go and get these tickets, as opposed to when no one else was kind of looking into these flights. So it's quite essential. If you can do it as early as possible, even earlier than a month, you'll find that you can tend to get way cheaper tickets than if you waited for the last minute. Now that tip is kind of flexible because sometimes it comes down to a case where if you wait to the very, very last minute, you might find a really super good deal that you didn't see before. However, you would want to do something like that only if you have the flexibility to travel whenever. You know, like if you waited last minute and then you can't go this time around, and it's not the end of the world for you, that's fine. But if you have somewhere you're trying to be by a certain point, you definitely want to try to book it way in advance so that way you can find that savings. The 3rd tip is going to be basically looking into your excursions or different activities or attractions that you want to go into when you're over there ahead of time, because even though it's better for you to likely book the actual excursion when you arrive to the country you're traveling to, it's nice for you to kind of have an idea of what you're looking at in terms of cost and kind of to know what, you know, would be a kind of fair range, so you're not going to get, you know, taken advantage of as a traveler or foreigner sometimes, which can happen if they think you don't know anything about what's going on. That's definitely a good tip, is to just kind of know what you want to do ahead of time and look into it before, even though you don't necessarily have to book it beforehand, because you can still have some flexibility when you get to the actual country. So mostly it's just for you to have an idea and for you to also, you know, just kind of budget everything so you know what your budget is going to be at, like when you're doing this complete trip, and you can kind of have flexibility to change things around if it seems that you're going to have, you know, go over the budget you wanted to spend. So that was tip number 3. And for tip number 2, we're going to talk about basically going where the locals go. A lot of times when we travel, we just want to eat out and try every kind of, you know, restaurant or cool place you heard about that has good eats. And nothing is wrong with that, but you definitely want to balance it with like grocery runs. A lot of people, when they travel, they never actually go to the grocery stores. You can actually save a lot more money buying things from the grocery store than just going out to eat all the time. You know, maybe get some snacks, or even if you have a place where you'll have a kitchen, you can easily cook a meal and save money that way instead of just going out to eat all the time. So that's a really great tip for being number 2, is just kind of, you know, going where the locals eat. You can also do that if you do want to eat out, because it tends to be cheaper where the locals eat. Plus, you're going to get a really great meal, because usually where the locals are, you know you're getting authentic food. So that's also a great reason to follow that tip. Here we are, our last and final tip, which I ask you to stay tuned to the very end for. This last and final tip will definitely put you at an advantage. When you're dealing with the locals, it's definitely nice to have their currency as opposed to just using American currency or maybe whatever other country currency you have on you, because instead of them just thinking, oh, this is a tourist and I'm gonna get the most money out of them, or maybe try to convert, maybe do a conversion that's a little bit off and then end up taking more money from you than they should have, you'll be dealing with their local currency and they'll be less inclined to have any discrepancies, and you'll be more aware of what's going on as well, as opposed to trying to do the conversion from their money to American money, which can get lost in transition. And another great tip for that, to help with that currency aspect, is that you have a downloadable currency app. So even if you don't have Wi-Fi or anything else, you can keep track of, you know, what the conversions are. So that way you are ending up giving the correct amount instead of too much or too little, or just having any complications with your finances. So that's a great tip, is really just having the local money, because it saves you the hassle of trying to, you know, convert money. You have to pay when you have to convert money. So if you already have that in order before you even start mixing up in the city, it could be that you did it at the airport or before you left home. It just makes a smoother transition and less of a, you know, you being under pressure and maybe trying to do a conversion and overpaying or anything like that. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much for watching my channel and getting these 5 travel tips that will help you travel for cheap and also just save in general, so that way you'll have more bang for your buck, and also encourages you to do some more traveling, since you'll have more in your pocket at the end of it. I just want to say, please, please, please subscribe and come back and watch. I mean, just look out for my next videos. I could not forget, actually, the most essential thing is that I would love for you to follow me on social media. I have Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. So please follow me there, and you can kind of get updates and just see what's going on, even when I don't have anything posted that's new, but you can find out about the new things coming. I just want to thank you for coming back to my channel, and I hope to see you here next time. God bless, and let's seek truth, joy, peace, and happiness.